Indiana in the Big Ten championship game for the first time ever up against the defending national champion Buckeyes, who have defeated the Hoosiers 30 straight times. But chance to make some program history.
That's a trend.
Lock up that bye. Maybe, who knows, maybe even the team who loses could still finish top 4 and get the extra week off. They're working this week. Who's going to win? Why? And what are you looking forward to about this one, BJ?
Hoosiers are going to win, and they're going to win because they're going to flip the script to what happened a season ago there in the Horseshoe. They gave up 5 sacks, 8 TFLs versus that silver bullet defense. Now they're going up against another formidable defense, but I believe they're more balanced on the offensive side of the ball. They will not have the turnovers, and they're much better at the quarterback position. But defensively, Hardy, who leads them in sacks. You got Isaiah Jones, Tariq Tucker. Those guys are top 3 in sacks, and they're going to have to put pressure on Julian Sayin. You can't allow him just to sit back there and be in the rocking chair. And that's what Michigan did. That guy, he wasn't touched all afternoon long. And maybe a slight pressure when he threw the first pick on the second, or the only pick on the second play of the game. But aside from that, man, it was a wonderful afternoon.
So how much can this Indiana defense allow and they'll still win?
Well, right now, where they're giving up less than 11 points a game, and I know Ohio State's giving up less than 8.
Yeah.
So you got 2 stellar defenses. They can't give up more, I'm going to say more than 17 points.
17. Okay. So they could win 20-17.
Yes.
That kind of game is what you're seeing here. Rick?
My feeling is that the best players on the field in this game are going to be wearing scarlet and gray. I think Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate are NFL guys. Not to say that Surratt and Cooper aren't terrific, but I think these two will go in the draft before those guys. And I also think that Ohio State's going to win this game, and I think they're going to win it comfortably because there's this feeling, at least, and I know Kurt Cignetti's trying to get rid of that feeling, that we have to play superior football to beat Ohio State. And sometimes trying to get to that superior level, you end up playing outside of your comfort zone.
Yep.
It looked to me that's what happened last year when they went to Columbus and they started making uncharacteristic mistakes, and all of a sudden it became an avalanche.
But can you learn from that, Coach?
That's the hope if you're an Indiana fan. I just believe that based on the victory that they just enjoyed, talking about Ohio State's, slaying the Dragon of Michigan, there's going to be a great deal of confidence. They've got everybody healthy, and they've got a slew of plays to gifted receivers, whether it's Innis, whether it's those two that I just mentioned, that they can get the ball to without having to really protect for an elongated time. They've got all sorts of formations. Both Hartline and Day are brilliant in concocting those kind of things. And I just think it's a slow bleed for a while, and then it's going to break, and I'm going to take the Buckeyes.
Well, the Buckeyes are kind of used to this. They're used to being the 100. They're used to being in big games. This year, the 2 big games that Indiana's played in is Oregon and Illinois against ranked teams. They've won those big time. It was 93-30 points-wise. And the one team that really got them, I guess, decent defensively was
Iowa.
Michigan State got them for 367.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
Below their average. But Indiana has lived and died, when you're talking about defense, with their turnovers. They led the country in turnover ratio, and I think that's going to be the key here, and that's how Ohio State loses. We've seen them not do that repeatedly in these big games. I think this one they do.
It's interesting because this Indiana offense has been banged up for a lot of the year. They were down a guard, and they were down, obviously, Surratt for a long time. They had to figure it out, so their numbers went down a little bit. But to me, this game comes down to, did Indiana fix the line of scrimmage issues that plagued them last year or not? They went and got Pat Coogan from Notre Dame. They've had 6 games where they've rushed for 300 or more yards this season. They've been dominant. The thing that they do the best that I see when I evaluate them up front is they sort through the trash. They pick up stunts and blitzes extremely well. Bob Bostad has done a tremendous job making sure that they see the field through one pair of eyes, and that's going to be imperative going against the best defense in the country that they're going to see with the Buckeyes. On the flip side, Indiana's front seven is going to be by far the best Ohio State has seen. If they underestimate what that front seven could do, it could be a long afternoon because remember, they run simulated pressures, they run fire zones. They're only bringing 4 or 5. You just don't know where they're coming from. They do an excellent job of bringing their backers from the second level and picking guards to be able to run stunts around them. That's been a problem for Ohio State on tape at times this year. So it's going to be interesting. Michigan to put 0 pressure on them. That will not be the case on Saturday. And how Julian Sayin, who's so talented, handles that will be the key to the game. I like Indiana. I think they're ready for it. I think they're built for it. It's going to be a rock fight, a low-scoring game, and they're going to win and snatch that victory out of the hands of Ohio State.
And these are both teams that you know are in the CFP. Yeah. Maybe you can even lose this game and still get the bye. But as players, as competitors, player and coach, how important is it to get the hardware that's involved? To get a bat like yes, I know we've changed our focus to the national championship race now because of the top 12, soon to be more, I'm sure, versus this conference championship race that we focus on in a lot of other leagues, maybe a little bit more. How important is it?
Once you lace them up, you're all in.
Okay.
You can't pull off the accelerator. You have to go. Football is a violent game. It creates all sorts of collisions, and you hope everybody gets up and both these teams are healthy at conclusion. You can't guarantee that, but we're playing for a Big Ten title. Let's go get this title, and let's go get it in hand.
You're all in. If not, don't get on the bus. Yeah. This is what you play for. And to your point, yes, it has changed as far as the goals. Old school, win your home games, beat your rivals, win conference, then put yourself in a position to win the Natty. They're both in position to win the Natty, win conference. They both want to do that, especially Indiana. Having never been here previously, they want that conference championship. Ohio State, they can't get enough of them. That's how they built their brand. Yeah. So they're going to be just as hungry.
Well, especially to Indiana, it's got to be really important to keep that 0 next to 11 wins, then 12 wins, and keep that going. Ohio State already knows that really doesn't matter if you want to win a national championship. Right. They proved that last year.
If I'm reading your question right, zooming out, I believe the conference championship games in general, we're in transition. They are starting to mean less because everybody's looking past them to get to the big prize, which is the playoff as a whole, just to be included. And then once you get there to win the national championship. But it does prove to be a hell of a consolation prize if you don't get there to be able to fall back on the fact that you won it. I have an NFC championship ring that I've never worn in 25 years. It sits in my closet because I have a championship ring I won, but the year that we lost the Super Bowl, I could care less about that thing. So, yeah, on game day, you're all in and it matters and you lace them up, but I think as a sport, we're diminishing the role and the importance of the conference championship games, and I think that's something that we should take a look at if we don't want to let go of it.
Yeah, just because of the narrative you hear from a national perspective versus what these kids are feeling on their campuses is why I asked that. And
Georgia lost their quarterback in a conference championship.
I think of that game. I heard what Kirby Smart had to say about how much it means to win an SEC championship. Right. It's what he lived for. And then I hear, oh, well, they also could have had the week off if the right teams won or lost this past week.
Well, you talk about live for. This game used to determine going to the Rose Bowl.
Right.
That used to be on both the Big Ten and the Pac-12. That used to be everything. Everything was the chance to play in the Rose Bowl.
Yeah. And in this new era, like Ohio State couldn't lose to Michigan last year and make the make it to the playoff.
Championship?
Yeah, championship. What championship?
And I think that result we got last year is how we got here. It's no longer an imperative for you to be able to earn. It's not the next step for you to get the ultimate prize.
It's not required.
It's a step.
Yeah. And we saw it with the 4-teamer too, when Alabama would lose either in the Iron Bowl or even in the SEC championship, and still, and if it was their first loss, make it anyway. Every year's different. 1 versus 2 though in the Big Ten championship.